Hello YouTube, and also to my subscribers. Today we're going to talk about the 10 most common mistakes that DIYers and homeowners make when wiring an electrical outlet. We're going to go through them one by one, and then I'm open to all of your questions in the comment section. Let's hit the workbench.
All right, we are here, and the first thing is very simple and very short, which is you have to remember to turn off the power at the breaker. You do not want to accidentally shock yourself. Seems like it's elementary, but it happens all the time. That's why it's number one. Okay, so let's go on to number two, which is that you need to make sure that you're putting the wire on the right side. Okay, so the power, or the hot, is usually the black wire. It needs to get wired to the gold screws, and the neutral, which is often and usually the white wire, needs to go to the silver screws on this side, right? And so what happens is if you cross them, you'll have what's called reverse polarity. And not only is it a danger with your circuit, but it's also a danger for the devices that you're plugging in, because you notice here that this hole is larger than this hole. Well, it's designed that way because the plugs are also larger to fit this hole, and that side of the plug, the wire going back in, is supposed to be the neutral for the device, and the device is expecting the power to come in on this side to get to the on-off switch, for example, that happens to be on your device. Maybe it's a little vacuum or who knows what, right? And so if you don't have it all wired properly, with the power going to this side here and then going to the right through the correct wire into your device, you could end up with a situation where now your vacuum in that example is actually powered inside, and could cause damage, could cause a fire. Who knows what else could happen? So that's why it's important to wire it to the right screws, and I know that's often a common mistake that's made. So another problem you could have would be to have too much or too little insulation stripped back on your J-hook. Okay, so looking at this one, this has got too much insulation stripped back, and if you can look at it here, you've got this exposed wire now hanging out and hanging down, and with that exposed wire, it could touch something else inside the electrical box. You could have an arc. There could be a myriad of things that could happen that could either melt the outlet or start a fire. All right, and then conversely, I happen to have a neutral wire that's stripped very short. Okay, so if that were on this side, you're gonna have, well, let's get it on here first. I can show you. So now you have a situation where the screw would be tightened down onto the insulation. So you never want the screw tightened down onto the insulation. And the best scenario would be where the insulation, it's peeled back somewhere between the edge of the screw and the edge of the outlet here. Okay, somewhere in here, in this spot here, is where you would want it to end, right? So let's look at this side. Okay, right in there, where it's just past the screw when it gets tightened down. Number four is under or over tightening the terminal screws. So if this is not tightened down or torqued down properly, the wire could move around, and even if it doesn't slip, yes, it could slip out if it's really loose, but even if it doesn't slip out, if it's just loose, it creates an arc because you don't have a tight connection, and so that arc creates heat, and that heat could melt the side of the outlet and or start a fire. So it has to be tightened down tight enough, but it can't be over tightened to the point where it's splaying out and wanting to pop out. So it's a fine balance, and there's a certain amount of torque you should be applying against this and a torque screwdriver would be the best way to do this. That's going to be in another video for you.
Just a quick break here to ask a favor of you. If you could please hit that like button on the video and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. I've got hundreds of videos for you already in the library and many more coming.
Number 5 is reverse hooks, where you're going the wrong direction, where it's going counterclockwise instead of clockwise. So when you do it this way, which is the wrong way, and you tighten down, what's happening is as you tighten down, it's trying to push this outwards like this, because the screw is turning this way. It's trying to push it outwards, and then it could pop off, or you're not going to make a solid connection. And then versus the correct way, which is going this way in the direction that your screw is turning, what it's going to want to do is suck that wire in and around to make a more solid connection. So another thing we've seen is people double stacking the wires on the same terminal screw. So this often happens when you're trying to take power from the outlet now and take it someplace else. Rather than do the right thing, which is to do a pigtail through a wire nut like this, and then put this on your outlet and then take this wire and go someplace else with it, we're seeing people try to double stack, and so you've got one on here, and then take another one and try to slide it in next to it, and usually the way to get it in there is you got to go reverse. So now you're violating 2 rules here. I can't even get this thing in here, but I think you get the point. There we go. So now you'd have 2 tightened down, and one of these could easily pop out because it's too crowded, and these are crossing each other, not making a solid connection. So that would be a real bad thing to do, but we see it all the time. Don't make this mistake. Another thing we see is backstabbing. Now you have these spots in the back for backstabbing or speed wiring, these little holes back here, one for each screw, and they're made to be able to, rather than do a J-hook and go around the screw, just push it in and hope that it holds. Okay? Now this is really bad. It doesn't matter that the manufacturer provides these as an option. These are really bad. You could pull these things out just like that, where you wouldn't be able to do that if it was around the hook. Plus, here's the other biggest problem that I have with it. Inside, it's just 2 pieces of metal that are pinching the wire. It's just a little pinch. That's it. Very little surface area for when the power comes in from the wire. Just a little pinch. As opposed to all of the surface area that you see down here underneath the terminal screw, where that wire would be laying and the power would be coming in against this entire J-hook that you would have created. Now, the other thing, it's not just that, but oftentimes when you push it in, it could pop out because maybe it's not seated properly. Over time, those 2 pieces of metal that are pinching inside will weaken. Even the power draw would weaken it, and then it makes it easier to slip out. So backstabbing, even though it's easier, it's not the right way to do it. And if you happen to have an outlet that's already backstabbed, I would recommend taking them off and wiring them the proper way. Number 8 is not grounding properly. So you've got this ground screw here, and in some homes you may have a metal electrical box. Okay, so if you are installing an outlet, you absolutely must have the ground wire, which is this bare wire attached to the ground screw on the outlet. If you have a metal outlet box, you also must ground the box to the same wire, okay, or to the pigtailed wire. You may have multiple ground wires behind the wire nut together, one coming out going to your outlet, one coming out and going to the screw on your metal electrical box, and then one coming out and going to the another wire that may be going to the next outlet if you're jumping from one outlet to the other. Okay, so this is critically important to make sure that your outlet is ground wired properly. Now, this isn't about actual wiring, but if you're installing an outlet, one of the mistakes that people make is not having a GFCI outlet as the first outlet in the circuit, to where that circuit is providing power to outlets that are around your kitchen sink, your kitchen counters, and also your bathroom. So every bathroom and every kitchen counter area should be protected by a GFCI outlet, which would be the first outlet in the string where the power is coming from your electrical panel, and the first outlet it meets needs to be this one, even though this one may not be closest to the water source. This will protect every other outlet down the line. So that's another mistake that DIYers or homeowners make. Okay, finally, another mistake people make is when people have aluminum wire in the house and they're wiring to an outlet. The first mistake is if you have aluminum wire coming in, not pigtailing it properly. So you've got a couple options. One, you can pigtail using these Alumicon connections, where you'd have your aluminum wire coming in, and then you can have your little copper pigtail going out and then getting attached to your outlet. Another option you have would be one of these receptacles that are made for aluminum wiring. So this is a CO/ALR outlet, and this is safe to use with aluminum wiring if you want to wire it directly to this. I personally prefer to use these because you've got a straight piece of aluminum wire going in here. And in the prior videos I've showed you that the more you try to J-hook an aluminum wire, those things are so brittle they just break right off, and not recommended. Anytime you get a little nick in a aluminum wire, it's a hot point. So if you could just keep that wire straight and just use one of these. This is a triple. They make doubles as well that'll take up less room in the box. This triple I would use if you have an electrical outlet where you've got an aluminum coming in, an aluminum going back out, maybe the next outlet, and now you want a copper to go from here to your outlet. That's what I would do. And you do not need to do that with your ground wire, but I would also definitely do it with your neutral wire.
There you have it. Those are my 10 tips and mistakes that I see that DIYers and homeowners make when wiring outlets themselves. Any questions you have, just ask them down below in the comment section. I do appreciate it. And please hit that like button and subscribe if you felt like my videos have been helpful for you. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I do hope you have a great day.